main hero is Pharah, so expect Singapore potentially to stick with that going into this one.
I think it's pretty likely that they would open with it, but I do think they need to be prepared to swap things up. Now, Jamli, he is a pretty good hit scan player, so he's not going to be giving Colbat free reign of the skies if he does go down that Pharah route. But right now, this is interesting. We're seeing Colbat swap things up, probably just waiting here to the last moment to actually switch things up. That's the thing in Overwatch, where sometimes teams on the attack, they sort of mess around a little bit up until 10 seconds when the gates open.
Oh yeah, on the defensive end though, we can talk a little bit about their composition. YJP is going to be playing Mei, and I actually find Mei to be extremely effective on this map. We saw a little bit, before obviously Mei gets a buff, that she was used on this map quite often because, the chokes are very short, they're very narrow, you're able to ice wall off, and what in the world is Singapore
follow the leader
doing here? All right.
Why not?
Yeah, they're just
leading
all
the way.
Following Symmetra here. Maybe they're kind of possessed by Symmetra at this point. You see Colbat playing the Bastion, just kind of hanging out in the spawn. This will not be Singapore's composition. They will probably change over to something else. Colbat switches over to Junkrat. I don't even know if that may be his last lock-in, but if it is, well, it seems like it will be. They're going to go with an offensive Junkrat. What do you think about that, ZP?
I think it's not unprecedented. We have seen teams run Junkrat here on King's Row in the past. People don't run it quite as often lately because they're afraid of building up on an ult, but it can be very effective at clearing people off this point and creating an opening for a team as they go in on the attack.
Yeah, in Singapore, as soon as they see the Mei on the China side, they go right up into that top hotel, jump right over the balcony, do not want to get walled off from their teammates, and Colbat just putting down a lot of damage here as Junkrat launches the enemy Reinhardt into the sky. Pangu goes for a ride, but he actually backs up towards his teammates, able to stay alive for the time being, but it's been a good push here early by Singapore.
Singapore is pushing China back right now. China's been losing this poke war in no small part due to the harassment of Colbat here, but it's going to be Pangu going right back, gets the double kill, and here comes China. Nano boost on the way, and that's going to be a quad kill for Pangu.
And a very good push back there from China. It looked like Singapore was backing them into a corner, and China answers back with a big offensive push from the defensive side of things as Pangu gets nano boosted, takes out 3 players. Now, Megmao has that Graviton Surge here to use in this next fight. On the side of Singapore, though, you will have the Junkrat Tire, you'll have the nano boost, and a Nurse Shatter, so look to see Singapore take advantage here.
And Junkrat Tire, it's somewhat of a zoning tool, somewhat of a gamble. Sometimes you do get an early pickup, sometimes it just buys you a little bit of spacing. But you see the ice wall coming down from the Mei right now. Doesn't quite split things off, but still acts as impediment to Singapore. Singapore will be going up to the alley, trying to go in from the top, and this is good positioning from them as they open up here at the Deadeye.
Yeah, Reborn's just trying to target some players here. Has a few down there, but the Reinhardt shield's going to block it. You're going to see Doubted jump in, has the nano boosted Reinhardt, but here comes the Blizzard from China. It's going to be YJP dropping that down in the point. He's able to take out 2. And now Singapore ZP, they've used all these ultimates, but it looks like China's pushing them back.
China's pushing them back, but remember the respawns are here for the offense. Singapore is in a great position here. They can just get a few more pickoffs. They should be able to cap this point because their reinforcements get in much sooner than China's reinforcements. And even though Megmao is holding on to that Graviton Surge, he's just not going to have to fall through as he gets melted right down by Revenant.
Yeah, and I like the idea there. Obviously don't want to use that Graviton Surge there, so Megmao, he drops, and then you see Lincoln, he falls back. They're going to have that Graviton for this next fight. So Singapore showing some signs of life here. They get control of the point. Now they will be moving the payload.
They are moving the payload, and Colbat not clutching on the Pharah. This is actually one of the best areas in the game to run a Pharah, but Colbat, not wanting to repeat the mistakes of yesterday, is not going only Fairies, going in the Reaper, and also a very good area for Reaper. And now we'll just have to see, can China, fueled by Megmao, get the Graviton Surge and stop Singapore here on this next push? They're in a great position to do this.
Well, yesterday when Singapore struggled, it was obviously when they stuck with that Pharah Mercy combination. When we actually saw Colbat switch over, they started to show some good things. And you see right there, it's going to be both Graviton Surges coming out. It's going to be 2 kills for China. It's going to be Jamli picking up 1. And now you see Lincoln has that sound barrier. Does he decide to use it? Don't think they need to. They're going to wipe the floor with the rest of the players from Singapore. Good speed boost here, just trying to get in, take out some of the players just left. So it's a good hold there from China, and now they're starting to build up some ultimates.
That was a great bridge for China where, because they were able to get the team wipe off the Graviton, it gave more time for Jamli, Pangu, and Link to get their ultimates up now. So they're going to be able to engage here with the sound barrier and go right into Singapore. They have no support ult to counter, so expect China to take the initiative.
Oh, and it's a big Ursha there from Pangu. You're going to see the Blizzard come in as well from YJP. Everyone from Singapore is falling. Great use of the ultimate abilities there for China. So they get a team wipe there, and now they'll be able to reset.
And I'll note the ult economy coming out of China here, where many teams would have used the sound barrier just to secure it. They held on to it, so they're going to have nano boost, sound barrier. And what you can expect here is that they might put the nano boost onto the Reinhardt with the sound barrier and make him nearly unkillable as he rolls into the Singapore team. And Singapore, they don't necessarily have the best options to deal with it. Here we go.
Yeah, and you're going to see actually the Reinhardt of China get nano boosted. Now you're going to see Reborn's trying to line up a big Deadeye here. He has 2 players in his sight. It's going to burn down that Reinhardt shield. It's going to be kills traded out though. Call that fly through. Nano boosted Reaper with a Death Blossom. And now you see Singapore taking advantage, pushing up the map, wiping the rest of these players on China. A good push there from Singapore. They still have a Graviton Surge left. They're going to take Lincoln out here later in the fight. They're going to have to wait for him to get back. So really good there for Singapore.
And that's a mistake that teams make pretty often, where I think China would have been fine if they waited for Singapore to go in a little bit more. China instead took the fight right at the archway. They didn't have great positioning. They lost a few seconds off the sound barrier. And as a result, it gave the opportunity for the counter ultimate charge to come in, call back, clean them up. And here we go. Next fight underway. Singapore trying to maintain momentum here. Revenant, Graviton comes in.
Yeah, and you see Callback just lurking up top. He wanted to drop down, but that Blizzard is not going to allow him to do so. He's going to get frozen up top. He's just trying to stay alive there. You see going Wraith for him, but the fight going down on the payload, just pushing back down in here, and it's going to be Meng Mao coming through as Zarya charged up, taking out 2 Callback, just trying to get away. Oh, not the spot you want to teleport into as they quickly deal with him. So China comes back, gets a good push, gets a wipe of Singapore's EP, and now China has some ultimates and only a minute to go for Singapore to work with. Down, it's going to have to go huge there with that Earthshatter.
And for Singapore, really, this is going to be their last good team fight. Earthshatter is going to have to be a big deal here. China, though, their ultimate war chest is very full. Meng Mao is going to be opening up this is Graviton, and here comes the nano boost coming right in. Earthshatter gets countered here, though, and giving Singapore a little bit of extra life, but not enough.
Yeah, now Callback, he switches over to Pharah. We saw him on this all day yesterday, but his teammates are just falling. Now you see the Graviton come in, just trying to find out which players he should target first. And you see, he's just trying to figure out, there's so many targets he wants to prioritize. Right there, he ends up just really not doing much of anything. And I would have liked to see him stay on the heroes that he was playing on earlier in the game when he was playing that Reaper. Now he switches over, running the Pharah. I would have liked to see him stick because it was working for Singapore.
Yeah, the Pharah, I think, actually could have been good here, but here comes China on a very aggressive defense. They still hold on to the sound barrier. They take down 1, and they are all in here. X looking to finish out Singapore right here, right now, stopping them from getting to the payload. There will be no overtime. China taking map number 1.
Yeah, it's a good first hold there from China in the first half here on King's Row. You really saw some nice things out of a lot of the guys on China, especially the YJP on May goes 21-2. Very good performance from him. And you saw some good things from Callback. Goes back to his trusted Pharah there at the end, has a tough time just targeting some players. Nope, maybe we'll see him switch off and go something different here in the second half. A defensive Pharah, we did see it from Singapore yesterday. It did not work. I'd like to see them go to something different.
Here's the thing about Pharah is that I have no problems if you're going to open the game with Pharah, whether it be on defense or offense. The key, though, is that if the other team is coming in with a composition that's doing really well against it, you have to be prepared to switch. Other than that, run the Pharah. See if the other team has weaknesses. We've seen elements in the pro scene where a team will run Pharah and the other team will either not switch at all or switch really late, so you can catch teams off guard. Let's take a look at YJJPP stats here.
Yeah, YJP was sick here on May, and you saw there at the end, just blocked off the players from Singapore. They were not able to get back towards the payload, and nope, the accuracy 36%, that's not bad for May, especially if you're just using those rank clicks, those icicles, and best kill streak 8, so a pretty good first half there from YJP. It'll be interesting to see who he runs on the offensive side of things. And now with Singapore on the defensive end, you will see Callback go back to Reaper. So I do like that change. And you'll see Revenant going with May. So copying a lot of what we saw China do on the defensive end.
Indeed. And one thing that's worth noting about YJP there as well is that he only died 2 times. One of the great things about May is that if you don't have someone running something with really big burst damage, like a McCree, like a Hanzo, May can be incredibly difficult to remove from an area, which really bolsters your defense even more.
I tell you what, though, ZP, China looks like they're going to have their comp, and they're going to be running this Pharah on the side of Singapore. I mean, they're going to have nothing really to deal with that, so look for YJP to really take advantage here early.
The only thing about YJP in the setup here is that he's not going to have a Mercy right behind him. Pharah's definitely a little bit weaker without Mercy being the buddy, but still, he will be able to get healed by Ana, and it's not the worst case scenario, so we'll see if it catches Singapore off guard.
And he's going to come in right over the top. Probably not the angle he intended to take there, as he ran out of boost as he's coming up. But you see just the pressure that YJP is putting on the back line here. And 2 big kills coming in from China early. I think YJP has just sent Singapore for a loop here as they are all falling. And you could not have asked for a better start for China as they get a team kill.
Those were 3 big kills for YJP, 2 of them on supports. You cannot have a better Pharah opening, and now the momentum is going to continue going forward. This Pharah almost has Barrage up here for the next fight. Won't be able to combo with too much, but you look at the side of Singapore, they don't have too much to deal with it. Now, they are going to 76 to add a little bit of extra pressure against the Pharah, but if YJP chooses to spot correctly here, he could rain justice all over the squad.
Well, I mean, having the soldier is great, and you'll be able to just shoot YJP from afar, but I feel like he's just putting so much damage down that the guys on Singapore just can't really poke out and even take, you know, those shots at Pharah because they're just getting so much damage rained down on them. And here comes the push in from China. YJP with 3 with the rocket barrage, and China going in for the kill here.
That nano boosted Pharah doing all sorts of work. It's a triple kill, and YJP not done yet. Laying in the rockets on the Lucio, pushing him back, and China with almost unstoppable momentum right now. And here's the instant replay, in over the top, raining it down. It's YJP leading the way.
Yeah, that nano boosted Pharah with the rocket barrage just causing so many problems. 3 kills there for YJP, as it looks like China getting dangerously close to ending this, and they do. It's going to be China taking map number 1 here over Singapore.
And there's not too much to say other than that was a dominant performance coming out of China. They also showed a good degree of versatility there, where not every team actually is going to be able to run a Pharah like that, but YJP's Pharah, definitely pretty good showing.
Yeah, and you actually saw China there in the overall Kings